When 12 talented and hungry hoop teams gather for a weekend of wall-to-wall, big-time basketball, anything can happen. And usually does.
Three ball straight on. Got it! He got it!
Add to that the fact that this basketball weekend would determine the champion of the most competitive college conference tournament in the country, and that the 2007 ACC Wars were among the most hotly contested of any in recent memory. A year when the regular season champion was not determined until the final weekend. When the team that had dominated conference and tournament standings for the past decade had ended the regular season in the middle of the pack. When the third and fourth place finishers were schools relatively new to the ACC, who were continuing to prove they belonged. And when two proud pioneer ACC programs had finished at the bottom of the standings, but had not given up hope of a miracle happening at the conference tournament. And what you get is one of the most exciting, the most intense, the most agonizing, and the most thrilling ACC tournaments in memory. And it all happened in a place hosting its first ACC tournament. A place where the sky, the water, and the palm trees beckon. And where the last thing one might think of doing is to spend gorgeous daytime hours sitting or standing in an indoor arena, wearing items one could hardly call civilized or even sane, and behaving at times as primally as human beings ever have. And why not? It was a time for soaring, for stuffing, for shimmying, and for some simply sparkling games. The 2007 ACC tournament was set for a showdown in the Sunshine State.
ACC programs here.
Good morning and welcome to Clemson basketball. We're in Tampa, Florida at the St. Pete Times Forum, where it's game one of the 54th annual ACC tournament.
Game time, baby. Game time. Ready to get this game on, baby. Hopefully we can get them 3 times this year.
The first ACC tournament game featured a showdown between two teams vying for a spot in the NCAA tournament.
Go Tigers!
Florida State had posted a regular season record of 19-11, an impressive statistic for any team, but good for only a number 9 seeding in the powerful Atlantic Coast Conference.
Go Seminoles! Go Florida State!
A drought they could dream of ending only if they won at least a couple of games in Tampa. The stakes were particularly high for FSU's all-ACC forward, senior Al Thornton, who strived to cap off his collegiate career with an NCAA bid. The Seminoles' first order of business toward that end was to get past 8th-seeded Clemson, which with a 21-9 record was also vying for an invitation to the dance. Being on the bubble can bring out camaraderie in head coaches.
Here we are.
And an intensity to the competitors. It can also raise the level of play in the game.
Advance on 3. 1, 2, 3. Advance!
Early on, both teams had little trouble finding the hole.
Out high, it's Min, drives left of the lane, reverses with the ball stolen by Hamilton. Thornton going to take it the other way. One man to beat. Rich goes up and under, lays it in.
The players hit from outside the arc.
Long jumper on the way by Jarrell Allen. He nails the 3. Now Booker on the right block, looking to back in an Eshifu. Kicks it to Tyler. He's going to fire a 3, and he got it. Hey, A.J. Tyler is back in his home state.
From under the net.
Ball knocked away by Rich, makes the steal. Lobs it inside to Thornton, defended underneath, gets past Mays, and he goes to the jam.
And above the rim.
Tigers back down by 2, 12:49 to go in the opening half. Here's Mays in the forecourt up top. Feeds the cutting Rivers. Casey gets reverses. No, but Booker follows and pushes it in.
With 12 minutes on the clock, Trevor Booker's stuff knotted the score at 15. and ignited a Tiger tear.
It goes to Hammonds, fires a three, got it! Cliffs 3 out of 3 from beyond the arc.
Hammonds gets a screen by Thornton. Oh, the ball taken away. Double team effort. Mays down the court. Hammonds left side layup good.
Backside rebound by Mays. Passing at Hamilton. Vernon pushing. Got to get past Swan. Goes to the hole. Lays it up and in.
A David Potter swish put Clemson up by 7. But the Noles stayed cool, and their shooting stayed hot.
Clear the timeline, gets the ball to Thornton. Thornton ball fake, dribble, stops, pops, 15-foot jumper. Good shot out, Thornton, 24-19. He's got the stroke. Thornton's got 6 in the book. Bounce pass to Rich. Rich attacks, looks for an open shooter, finds Swan. He can't get the shot away. Running to by Rivers. Now he's got an open look. Lefty triggers. Bullseye. It's a one-point ball game. 28-27.
With less than 5 minutes left in the half, Thornton's 3 tied the score. And a Ryan Reed bucket gave the Seminoles a lead, which lasted all of 45 seconds.
Douglas defends. Vernon gets a screen, goes inside, lays it up and in. Here's Rivers spinning top of the lane. Turnaround jumper. Got it. Tigers back up by 1. 36-35. 1:20 to go.
When time is dwindling and your team's behind, it's good to know that Al Thornton is on your side.
Thornton looks at the shot clock. Sykes only puts up a three-point shot. Thornton buries the three-bomb with Sykes in his face. It's a Florida State lead at halftime. Noles will go to the locker room up 38-36 thanks to Big Al Thornton and a three-bomb to beat the buzzer.
The second half began as the entire first half had been played, with potent shots and a seesawing lead.
Dribble drive and a fast break layup by Rich, and he scored through 2 defenders. 40-38.
Let's go, let's go!
Stolen by Vernon Hamilton. Ahead to Booker, going to the hole, jams it in there.
That's his 4th dunk of the game.
Rich attacks the basket, goes up, lays it up and in. Got a nice back screen by Thornton. 46-45.
Vernon gonna push it the other way. Tigers take the lead, goes behind his back, goes to the hole, up and under. Oh my goodness, he went right behind Douglas. What a move!
Clemson's James Mays showed some stellar D, snuffing some Seminole shots. Mays' monstrous swats swung the momentum to Clemson, which built a 5-point lead with just over 4 minutes remaining.
Here is Rivers gonna fire a 3. No. Rebound. Booker goes back up and he jams. He grabbed it and he saw the alley and he rammed it in there.
But less than a minute later, the Noles' Tony Douglas hit from downtown, and the lead sank to 2. Then, as he had all year, Al Thornton put the Noles on his back.
Thornton to the baseline corner. Goal drive. Goes up last. Slammed up. Tie game at 66. That's vintage Al Thornton.
With the score tied and game seconds disappearing, the Tigers lost a crucial possession.
Was it a backcourt violation? You gotta be kidding me with 8.3 to go.
Thornton got the ball and drew the foul.
6 seconds to shoot. They get the ball to Thornton. Thornton, dribble drive. Puts up the shot. It's blocked. But a foul is called with 1.5 seconds. And Thornton will be awarded 2 shots.
The first team All-ACC senior sank his second foul shot, giving the Noles the win. And the Tigers a noble loss, which in the ACC tournament is about as painful as it gets. After the intensity of the tournament opener, fans might have assumed the next game would be a breather. After all, it pits sizzling Maryland against Miami, which had finished last in conference play after suffering through an injury-plagued season. Funny, though, the Canes didn't look all that injured.
Harris deals to Dews. Dews rising and firing. The freshman scores from 12 feet away. James Dews with a jumper from the left side.
Or all that play.
Bullet pass down low for Ray Hicks. Hicks up and under and scores. Ray Hicks off the glass. And Miami leads it 14-10.
In truth, for most of the first half, it was the Terps who played like a team under the weather.
There's Strawberry. His pass inside to Abekwe, taken away from Abekwe, then he reaches in and commits the foul.
As for Maryland's sizzle, most of it came from their coach on the sidelines. With 6.5 minutes left in the half, Jimmy Graham's dunk stretched the Miami lead to 12.
Jimmy with a slam dunk from the left side on a feed from Anthony Harris.
2 minutes later, the Terps' DJ Strawberry turned it over for the third time in the half. James Dews fired a 3 for the Canes, and the Terps were 15 points down. Mike Jones got a few back with a three-pointer late in the half.
Jones from the left wing. It's not for Jones. This thing is a blowout.
But the break came with the Terps behind by a baker's dozen and determined to make a change.
The Terrapins time, they started with the all-red shoes. Now they've gone back to the ones they wore most of the year, white.
Perhaps it was the footwear, or a tongue lashing by their coach, or maybe the call of their fans.
All right, way to go! Way to go, Kenny! Defense!
But something did change for Maryland between acts.
Ball buried to Mike Jones. Jones with a floater in the paint, got it. And it's 39-26.
Here come the Terrapins. Vasquez to it. Kenny Abekwe lays it up and scores plus the foul. Here come the Terrapins.
They were taking charges.
Right side it goes. Drive by Harris. Offensive foul. Harris put his shoulder down and stepping right in the lane is Strawberry.
And taking charge.
Miami in their zone. The Jones over Hicks, no good. Tipped up and in on the left side by James Gist.
Miami wasn't playing poorly.
Dews on the catch. James driving in traffic off the glass, no good. Collins for the rebound. Dews gets it, a runner, no good. Collins again battles for the rebound. Off the glass and good. What an effort by Dews and Dwayne Collins. They keep it alive.
But Maryland had gathered some momentum.
Fades into forecourt. Strawberry layup is good. Fouled on the play, count it. And DJ with a chance to make it a three-point play.
With just over 12 minutes left in the game, Gravis Vasquez hit from the perimeter to cut the lead to 10. A James Gist steal, layup, and foul made it 50-42.
He's got McClinton to beat to the basket. Shot for the right hand is good. McClinton with a foul and a chance to make it a three-point play.
With 7.5 to go, Vasquez found the hoop again. And so did Gist.
He's got Copeland to beat. The Gist flies through the air and jams it right over Copeland, who goes 6-5.
Miami still had the lead, but now they were just trying to hang on. Dwayne Collins got inside to score. So did Jimmy Graham.
Jumper on the way, no good. Rebound to Graham, off the glass and good. Jimmy Graham with the putback. Boy, was that big, 61-56 Miami.
Down by 3 with 30 seconds remaining. Maryland needed to score.
Strawberry foul line jumper short on it, and the slam with the right hand by Gist is good.
Gist's wheeling slam cut the lead to 1. On their next possession, Miami nailed both their foul shots, setting up another do-or-die situation for the Terps.
Rebound right to Vasquez from the corner, forces up a three, no good. Asbury has it with 3 seconds to go, and he's fouled with 3.9 seconds to go. Miami's 3.9 seconds away from upsetting the Maryland Terrapins. Asbury to the free throw line for Miami.
Brian Asbury's clutch foul shot sealed the deal for the Canes, giving Miami its biggest win of the year.
There you go. Great game, Frank.
That's what, hey, we came here, we still got more work to do, y'all. 3 more games, what we came here for. We ain't come here to lose. Let's go.
And you deserve that win today. You deserve it because you did everything you could to give us a chance to win. We rebounded the basketball, we played good D, and we executed offensively. We didn't turn the ball over in the front court. Now, we turned it over in the back court, and that's something we got to work on. But you didn't break. You didn't break. And I'm so proud of you. You earned it. You deserve it. Let's go get one tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay?
Everybody's having a great time because we're all playing hooky. It's Thursday, and we're watching college basketball in Tampa.
We love the weather. We love it. Yeah, I don't think nothing better. Yeah. We're on spring break, warm weather, cheering for our team.
I think a tournament should be here every year.
Following the intercession break on Thursday, Mike Krzyzewski and his Duke team prepared to play their triangle rival, NC State.
Who's going to win this one? All the way, all the way. Sure they are.
Winners of 6 of the last 7 ACC tournaments, the Blue Devils had boasted a 23-1 record during that spell. But their 8-8 record within the conference had been good for only a number 7 tournament seed. NC State had almost the reverse situation. It would take a tournament championship to gain the PAC and NCAA bid. They would have to win 4 games in 4 days. Maybe the new coach, Sidney Lowe, was the right guy for the endeavor. In 1983, he played a pivotal role on Valvano's miracle Wolfpack team, which had come from the middle of the ACC standings to win the tournament, and then had gone on to take the NCAA championship. Would it be another miracle year for the PAC? Time would tell. First, there was the game against Duke, who were capable of playing like the devil. But NC State got off to a solid start.
Down McCauley's got it, left wing, fires and hits a jumper for 2 from the baseline. Here's Hansbrough, the pass to Coster, drives down the left side of the lane. The runner's up and banks in, and a foul.
2 trips into the paint by Courtney Fells put the PAC up by 4.
Shire with a basketball now in the front court for Duke, driving against Fells to the top. Fells strips and steals. Fells on a breakaway down the floor, jams it.
Well, when Courtney Fells plays well, NC State usually wins or has a chance to win, and he's off to a great start.
Then the momentum began to shift, and so did the lead.
Right pull-up jumper quickly off the free throw line, swish for Greg Paulus. Here come the Devils. Numbers aren't there. Paulus will jump and pass over to Shire. He's open for the 3. He's got the 3.
There's some numbers for you. Back-to-back threes for the Blue Devils. Paulus and Shire. And that gives the Blue Devils an 18-14 lead.
The good news for NC State was that their freshman phenom Brandon Costner was getting inside and hitting.
Underneath the Coster, left block against Thomas, spinning, goes to the basket, up and under move, layup good.
The bad news was that the Devils' John Shire and Martinez Potsus were also hitting, and their baskets were worth more.
Down the lane, the running right-hander up too hard, gets his own rebound, works his way back outside, gives it out to McRoberts to Shire from the right corner, left corner, got it. John Shire's 3rd three-pointer of the first half.
Potsus' potency from the perimeter stretched the Duke lead to 9. Then it was Costner's turn again.
This is picked off by Neiman. Ahead to Coster, goes to the hole and lays it in. Here's Hansbrough giving it to Horner, down low to Coster, layup good.
Same thing, they got the mismatch. C-State took advantage.
And the PAC were within 5 at the half. But then something new happened. Duke started missing.
For 3, doesn't get it. Gets his own rebound at the free throw line, outside to Nelson for 3. Hits off the front rim, no good.
Roberts in the paint with a running right-hander, bounces off the back of the rim, and on the rebound off the floor, it goes to McCauley.
Meanwhile, NC State's senior point guard, Ingen Atzur, stepped up.
Atzur, they leave him open, right wing, fires for 3, and it rattles in.
But Duke regrouped, courtesy of its own floor leader, Josh McRoberts.
McRoberts high to get the rebound and lays it back. 14 seconds to the shot clock. Greg goes right, gets by, now feeds down to McRoberts with an over-the-head reverse dunk.
Costner hit a basket in the paint to even the score. Then Greg Paulus found the net from deep, and Duke was up again. DeMarcus Nelson's 2 consecutive baskets gave the Blue Devils a 6-point lead with 6:41 left in the game.
Paulus comes up with the basketball, top of the circle, now shoots it 2, then a pass over to Nelson. He'll dive down inside, loops it with the right hand, kisses it off the glass and in.
State's Ben McCauley answered with 2 field goals of his own.
If McCauley sets a screen, he does not. Now he does. Hansbrough drives left wing, throws back to Coster underneath to McCauley, who slips, goes to the basket, scores.
High-low action, executed beautifully, and they got the shot they needed to tie it.
Moments later, McCauley had the ball again.
Bounce pass in the lane for a layup by Hansbrough. Got it off balance. He scores 16 for Hansbrough, and the Pack's got the lead. 64-62 with 3:21 to go.
Gavin Grant laid it in, and the Pack were up 4.
Off by Hansbrough. Down the floor to Grant against Nelson. Grant goes to the basket, knocks over Nelson, layup good, and no foul.
Time was waning. Duke had to move fast.
Down to Nelson as he drives all the way baseline, up and under, got it, we tied again at 70.
The game and the fans were fit to be tied.
Unbelievable. Another ACC tournament game, overtime. Go Blue Devils.
The extra period began. Brandon Coster, as he had all game, got inside. But McRoberts returned the favor.
McRoberts with a shot fake, drive, dunk. He went high in the air and jammed that one down through to make it 75-74.
Seconds later, Gavin Grant hit from outside, and State was up by 3. Again, McRoberts responded.
Drives left side and underneath to McRoberts. Jump stop in the lane up for a jumper, good over McCauley. McRoberts is starting to get hot. 16 for McRoberts, and it's a 1-point game.
Then it was Ben McCauley's turn.
Back and forth we go. Back and forth we go.
With a minute left and his team down by 4, McRoberts tried once again.
Pulled down by Coster, and State's got the ball.
With time running out, Duke had to foul. And the NC State freshman, playing in his first tournament game, had to hit from the stripe.
Coster with a chance at his 30th point of the night. Here's the second free throw by the big guys. In the air, good.
Coster's shots shut the door on Duke. The Devils were sent packing, losing in the first round for the first time since 1997. But that's the ACC. And the Pack? Well, the Pack had come to play. For NC State, the first game was in the books. Sometimes the last contest in a 4-game day can be anticlimactic. Everyone, except maybe the teams, are tired. Add to that the fact that this Game 4 came on the heels of the thrilling upset of Duke by NC State, and it seemed like a sure recipe for a dull matchup.
Wait.
But the Wake Forest-Georgia Tech game proved to be anything but dull. Both teams wanted the victory. The Jackets to solidify a bid at the NCAA tournament, and Wake Forest to gain a chance for an invite to postseason play. The desire to win showed on the court from the opening tip on. Wake's L.D. Williams drove inside to score with 7.5 minutes to go in the half. It knotted the score at 20, the 8th tie of the game. Then the Jackets gained some momentum, beginning with Mario West, three-pointer.
4, 3, 2, Rio spots for 3, and it's good. Here's Rio now for Javaris, spinning on L.D. Williams and laid it up through a double team.
Jeremy Smith's dunk put Tech ahead by 6. The Deeks began to creep back.
Tech up 6, 29-23. Wake a bounce into Weaver, fakes up for the shot, good and one. A foul on Tech and a great feed by Ishmael Smith. Tech in white, and here's a steal by Ishmael Smith ahead of the Pack. He will lay it in off the glass and good. He took it right out of the hands hands of Bell, who fell down. Cuts the lead for Tech down to 31-29.
Then the Jackets stole the spotlight again.
Here's Crittenden coming out of there with it on the lead from Aminu. Layup, good. Javaris Crittenden. The lead grows to 5 with 20 seconds left.
Even so, Wake had the final word of the half.
Joe Duke's big-time bucket, and much needed by the Deacs. It cuts the deficit to 4 at 37-33.
Tech's rookie sensation Thaddeus Young started the second half with a three-pointer. Wake's Jamie Skeen had a quick response.
Give it to him. Jamie Skeen with a big three, his first bucket of the night.
And Kyle Visser added his 2 cents.
Kyle spins in the lane, little finger roll up and over the rim. Visser's got 13.
Young struck with another 3.
Javaris for Thaddeus Young, a 3-ball, got it. Look out. Look out.
Dialed in.
But again, Wake answered, this time with 2 L.D. Williams trays.
Here's Wake in the front court. LD's got it. 3-ball on the way. Boom, he's got another one.
Well, he's answered Thaddeus Young.
Again, Young had a response.
Comes racing past the timeline on Drum. Will pull and fire. Left-hand jumper good. Boy, is he good.
Then the Deacs' Michael Drum turned up the heat from downtown.
Wake in a hurry the other way. Smith to Drum. Right side 3. Sip. Mike Drum. Here's Wake. Ishmael Smith gonna penetrate. Bounce out to Drum. Fires. 3-ball for the lead. He got it. Michael Drum's got 14 and Wake leads at 60-58.
A bomb, courtesy of Jamie Skeen, stretched the Deac lead to 8 for the time being.
He'll get it to Javaris. Quickly inside. Aminu right-hand jump hook off the window and in. Young for Crittenden. Thought about the 3. Tried to get to the goal. Kick tomorrow for 3. Got it, and a foul on Visser. Oh, my goodness.
Anthony Morrow's 4-point play cut the Deac advantage to 2, which Thaddeus Young erased seconds later.
Thaddeus will stop. Foul line jumper. Rattles in. And we're tied at 74. Boy, he's been fantastic tonight.
Maybe a lesser team would have folded, but Wake was hitting on all cylinders.
Deacons working the clock here. 15 to shoot, 1:44 to go. Ish now going one-on-one, leaves his man, now pulls and fires. 15-footer. Ishmael Smith from the right elbow has got 10.
It's the Ish Smith show.
And so was Georgia Tech.
14-foot jump shot off the back iron. Smith the rebound. Back up on Visser, scores and draws the foul.
In a contest that had no losers, the game ended exactly as it should, in a tie. About 2 minutes into overtime, Wake's Harvey Hale made a bit of a splash from the perimeter. A minute later, he made another one. Tech's Anthony Morrow responded in kind to Hale's first big shot.
Now for Morrow, he'll fire for 3, and we're tied on Anthony Morrow's triple.
But could he answer to the second one? You bet. Overtime was over, but the game wasn't. In all great games, a winner finally emerges, and it's truly unfair that there are no spoils to share. This classic contest was no exception. Tech was able to answer the Herculean Hale's first 3 of the second OT. And Morrow added 1 for good measure.
Javaris right back to the left corner for Morrow. Amo for 3 in the lead, and it's good.
But then Hale hit again from outside to tie the score. And then nailed another to push the Deacs ahead by 3, 114 to 111.
Smith right of the circle, comes high to Hale. 3 balls straight on. Got it! He got it! And the Deacs are up 3.
Timeout. Harvey Hale. Is he on fire?
For Tech, reality came crashing in.
Left-hander trying to make it. Missed it. Rebound slapped around and saved by Tech. Out to Morrow.
No
to
good.
Win it.
No good.
It's no good, and Wake wins it. 114-112.
I think it was too late anyway.
It was close right at the horn. And 114-112 is the final in double overtime. The game ends at 7 minutes to 1 in the morning here in Tampa.
The Deke victory, the second overtime thriller of the night, was the fourth upset in so many games. Never before had the ACC tournament opened with such a string of surprises. And there'd be more to come. Much more to come.
Where'd he go, James?
I told you, you're not going home, not yet. Not yet, baby. We're not going home. We're going to stay here for a while.
You ain't going home yet. Jake's game, boy.
Eight short hours later, the gates of the arena opened for day 2. And the players arrived for another long day of basketball.
Yesterday was amazing. I'll tell you what, for just first-round games, everybody got upset, so who knows what's going to happen today. It could be a great tournament. Anybody could win the tournament today, and we're excited about it.
Oh, Florida's wonderful. We left Virginia, and it was about, 28, 30 degrees. So this is wonderful weather. Great atmosphere.
It's been wonderful. It's been exciting. There's been some major upsets, and we're ready to go here this morning at noon. Go Heels!
FLORIDASTATE. What? Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. Woo! Go Noles!
Would the string of upsets continue? Top-ranked Carolina and all of Tar Heel Nation certainly hoped not. The Heels faced off in Game 5 against the victors of Thursday's first contest, the Seminoles of Florida State. Of course, Tar Heel coach Roy Williams and his counterpart, Seminole leader Leonard Hamilton, were there to win the tournament. But the stakes were not the same. The Seminoles would need at least one more victory in Tampa to nail down a bid to the NCAA tournament, whereas Carolina knew it would receive an invite even if they left Florida without a win.
Let's go, baby. 40 minutes. That's it. 40 minutes. Let's give it all we got. 1 on 3. 1, 2, 3. Win.
Carolina's sophomore leader, Tyler Hansbrough, who suffered a broken nose in the Duke game, wore the scars of that battle on his face. Hansbrough's mask served as a reminder to his team of the wars they had fought and of the courage of their wounded fellow soldier.
1, 2, 3.
Though Williams had won an NCAA championship in his second year with the Heels, he had yet to triumph at the conference tournament. In addition, any chance Carolina harbored of receiving a #1 NCAA bid hinged directly on their taking the prize in Tampa.
Ball's in the air, tip control by Wright, back to Lawson.
Early on, it was clear that Hansbrough was not at his best. He contributed what he could to Carolina's cause.
Hansbrough dribble drives, attacks, lays it up, no contest. Hansbrough was unchallenged.
The other Heels made contributions too. Wayne Ellington donated one from outside. Brandon Wright supplied a score in the paint.
Down inside to Wright, up for the shot off the glass with the left hand.
And Ellington made another gift to Tar Heel fans, this time from inside, to put the Heels up early by 7. The Seminoles had court presence too. Al Thornton showed his all-conference form.
Court Al Thornton, left side wing, took the headband up. Thornton bobs, goes up to the limb and scores the basket. 11-6, he took the headband off, and it works again.
And Jarrell Allen scored from outside. And then again for 3 to tie the game at 13.
It is good. We're tied at 13. Jarrell Allen with 5 points.
Carolina responded with 3 jumpers of their own.
yardage. Bounces it to right, turnaround shot, good off the right baseline. Skip pass over to Miller. Thompson set a screen, and Miller. Whoa.
And just like that, the Tar Heels were up by 10. Danny Green's three-pointer with 3.5 minutes left in the half stretched the UNC advantage to 13. Immediately, Thornton and the Noles began to chip away at the lead.
Three-point shot, Thornton. Good shot out, Thornton. That answers Green. Dribble drive, top of the circle. Jason Rich follows it good. Lays it up and scores. Jason Rich attacks the basket, 30-24.
But in the waning seconds, the Seminoles made 2 crucial turnovers.
And is guilty of a charge, and that is the 3rd foul on number 3. Dribble drive, jump shot by Ellington, good. Banked it and got 2. 4 seconds to go. Down the court, steal. Lawson puts up the shot, no good. Oh, he tips it into the horn. Tipped it into the horn, and then the final 8 seconds to Tar Heels score 4, and they go to the locker room up 8, 34-26.
Brandon Wright works up the sideline. Will hand it off to Lawson, who comes to get it. Down inside to Hansbrough. Up for the shot, scores. Boy, they go right to the well on the opening possession of the second half.
Up by double digits at the start of the second half, Carolina never looked back.
Two-handed slam, and it's 42-26.
2 layups by Ty Lawson in less than 30 seconds stretched the UNC advantage to 20.
Lawson's got it. Here comes Lawson front court off to Deion Thompson. The drive, dropped it back to Lawson off the glass.
And 3 minutes later, Sean Terry slammed one home, and the lead was 25.
He slams it through. One-handed 52-37.
Al Thornton fouled out late in his last ACC game. And without their leader, FSU played with the ghost of missed opportunity on their shoulder. Carolina coasted into the semifinal of a tournament they aimed to win.
The North Carolina Tar Heels have sent Florida State home 73-58 final.
Out on the floor, Boston College and their own ACC All-Star, Conference Player of the Year Jared Dudley prepared to play upstart Miami in Game 6.
If you can shut down Jared Dudley, people think he can beat Boston College. So somebody else has to step up offensively without a doubt, and that'll free up some space for Jared. But you got to get him some backdoor cuts, let him go off the dribble, some isolation plays for him to get off a little earlier in this game here this afternoon. If you don't come out today with passion and emotion, Eagles are going to lose this game. I mean, Miami is pumped up. They are having basically a second life here. Just ask Gary Williams. If BC doesn't play with emotion and passion, Ted, like you'd like to talk about, Eagles are going to find it to be a long afternoon here today.
Right for the jump, baby. Right for the jump. This is the first step to our goal, baby. Let's go. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Let's go.
BC started solidly enough.
Right at the Oates, he'll take the 3. Hit it for John Oates, 3-0 Boston.
That's a great sign right off the bat.
Roach stops, looks, backs it out. Now for Rice, he'll take the 3 right of the key and hit it for Tyrese Rice. So BC has hit 3 threes here in the first half.
But Miami kept pace.
Clinton, wide right against Rice. Jack's going to take a deep 3. Good. Jack McClinton goes wide left. Harris back to McClinton into Ray Hicks against Dudley. Right of the key. Hicks turns around on Dudley and scores. A one-handed hook shot by Ray Hicks.
Jared Dudley struggled to find the hoop for Boston College.
Rice against Anthony Harris. Takes him right to the key. Puts a bullet pass to Dudley off the screen. He's wide open for 3, and that's no good.
Dudley left baseline. Drives to the goal. Reverse lay-in, no, and a foul on the rebound action on BC.
That's going to be on Blair. Dudley now 0 for 4 from the floor here.
And though Tyrese Rice hit some big hoops for the Eagles.
Rice along the right sideline. Rice stops, looks, takes a 3 right side, and hit it. Eagles have hit 4 threes here in the first half.
One cannot live on Rice alone, particularly in the eye of the Hurricane D.
Good defense by Miami.
McClinton to the goal. Feeds underneath Hansbrough. Gets free, lays it in.
Miami took the lead on a Jimmy Graham jumper.
Graham with a left-handed hook and got it. Jimmy Graham with a left-handed hook over Tyrell Blair.
And then went on a scoring run.
McClinton will take the 3 straight on. Yes! Hughes goes baseline right. Rice fires and scores. Dwayne in the paint with a left-handed hook off the glass and good.
With 47 ticks left in the half, Anthony Harris laid it in for Miami. Seconds later, his shot from downtown Tampa sent the Canes storming into the locker room, up by 10.
Harris hits a shot at the buzzer, and ladies and gentlemen, BC's in big trouble going in at halftime.
The second half started for BC much as the first half had ended.
Here comes the alley-oop. Dwayne with a slam! By Dwayne Collins, a slam dunk on the alley-oop from Anthony Harris. Quickly ahead to Anthony Harris. Harris on the move to the rim, up and under, just missed, and Dwayne is there with a slam dunk right in front of the basket. Dwayne Collins, back-to-back slam dunks. Anthony, wide left, now pounds the ball in the paint. Underneath to Asbury, forces it up in traffic and scores from the right side.
But after Brian Asbury's layup stretched the Cane lead to 14, the Eagles began to play less like a team bewildered and more like a team that had won 19 regular season games.
Rebound tipped around. Graham has it. Low left in traffic. Graham needs the feed against Dudley. Dudley steals it away and throws it off at Graham and out of bounds. It's Boston College's ball. Here we go.
Marshall left to the key, Blair. Blair's pass deflected, comes for Dudley, right baseline, bounce feed, off for Oates, gets free, lays it in. Oates with 8 points.
Good pass by Dudley, offense by accident. Eagles lucky again, as it almost was a turnover.
Jared Dudley's first field goal cut the Miami lead to 8. Another three-pointer from Rice brought the Eagles within 5.
Off the catch, Rice open for 3 and fires, got it. Tyrese Rice, 21 in the game.
And with 1:43 left in the game, John Oates dunked, and the lead was down to 2. Seconds later, Jimmy Graham returned the favor. Canes up by 4.
Puts it up, no good. Oh! With a slam dunk right in front of the basket.
Then, after an Oates foul shot brought the Eagles within 3, Tyrese Rice, so lethal from outside all day, had another look with 32 seconds left.
Rice will take the 3 from out front. Around, hangs it, falls through. And what do you know? We got a tie game. I don't believe what I just saw.
Seconds later, the game went into overtime. The third overtime contest of the weekend, tying an ACC tournament record.
The Eagles will take this, ladies and gentlemen. They get this game in overtime. Bill, I cannot believe that they got this game in overtime.
In the extra 5-minute period, the man who had carried the Eagles all season long hit when it counted.
Big shot there.
Jared Dudley with 9 points in the game. Rice from Marshall, left corner Oates. He'll take the 3. No, the rebound, Jared Dudley. The putback is in and a foul. Jared Dudley in double figures now with 11. A chance to give BC their first lead since the first minute of the game. Wow.
And Tyrese Rice scored the last 2 points of his year-best 32. One at a time to seal the deal for BC.
The baseball feed down court is tipped, deflected, comes for Tyler Roach, off for Dews, right side Harris at the buzzer. It's no good, and Boston College miraculously survives. Wow!
Halfway through Frantic Friday, the sun set on the gleaming city of Tampa, where the arena and the fans awaited the start of the evening session, where NC State, fresh off its first-round upset of Duke, took the floor to take on second-seeded Virginia, whose 20 regular season wins had included a 71-58 rout against the Pack in Raleigh. Virginia had ridden the scoring tails of their 2 stellar guards, J.R. Reynolds and Sean Singletary, as well as the leadership of ACC Coach of the Year, Dave Lado.
UVA, go, who's go?
NC State's scoring trio of Ben McCauley, Gavin Grant, and Brandon Costner in the meantime had shown grit, determination, and true talent in their victory against Duke.
And we bid you good evening from the St. Pete Times Forum. The University of Virginia against the NC State Wolfpack, number 2 against number 10.
The Cavs struck first blood with an opening hoop by Jason Kane. And then 2 Singletary scores.
The fadeaway, boom, he hit the 2. Just inside the arc, the Cavs start 4 love.
State with the ball. Here's Costner on top, guarded by Kane. Virginia man-to-man, passes on the wing to Atzor, saves it inbounds with the Singletary. Singletary races down the floor against McCauley. Fast break layup, got it. Not a good start for the Pack. It's Virginia 8, State nothing.
Grant finally broke through with a couple of jumpers.
State has the ball. Here's Grant with it at the top of the key. He drives down the lane, hangs, fires, banks it in. Gavin Grant's 2 out of 3 shooting in the early going. It's 8-6.
Then Kane rose again.
Cavs come out of there. Diani will have the rock. Diani heading to the hole. Diani layup. Can't get it with a follow by Kane. Kane with a flush.
State's McCauley found the basket and was fouled to bring the Pack within 3.
To the lane to McCauley. Backs in. Hook shot with the right hand over Kane. Goes in and a foul.
And Costner's first score from beyond the arc knotted the game at 16.
Here comes a double from Joseph. Kicks it out to Costner. Top of the key. Fires a jumper for 3. Swish.
But the Pack trio quieted down again.
Up top, Costner. Costner for the triple. Off the rim, no good.
Back outside to Grant. He fakes. He's going to slash to the basket. Hangs, fires. No good. The shot from the middle of the lane won't go. He's going to put the ball on the floor. Backs him in. Fakes, turns, and the left hand hook won't go.
While the Virginia scorers made some serious noise.
Diani's got to look at the 3. Good. Diani comes out for the jumper. Singletary with a head and shoulders fake. Now comes inside the arc. The jumper. Bullseye.
Whips a pass inside to Michalowskis. Up and under move. Layup with the left hand. It goes in.
Though NC State scored some tough baskets down the stretch, the first half belonged to the Cavaliers, and especially to Singletary.
With 9 with 8 seconds. Singletary with 7 with 6. Goes right side. Singletary to the wing right. The fadeaway by Sean. Bullseye! Sean going right side for 1.5 seconds. A perfect finish. And the Cavs go in the locker room up 14.
NC State went to the locker room down by 14. Whatever was said and whoever did the talking, the NC State team that struggled in the first half had disappeared, replaced by a smarter, more confident, and more assertive bunch that started hitting their shots.
Well, you tell what Sidney Lowe talked about at halftime. Get the ball inside.
Unfortunately for the Cavs, the Virginia team that had scored almost at will before the break had also disappeared.
Now to Joseph. He pulls up near the left elbow. Fires. Won't go. Fight for the rebound. Fells has got it for State. Atzor with it at the top. In underneath the Fells for an easy jam.
Courtney Fells' dunk at the 14-10 mark brought the Pack to within 9. 2 minutes later, Brian Neiman hit a 3, and State trailed by 3, which Costner wiped out with his own tray.
Jump shot in the air. Good. It's a 3-pointer. We got a tie ball game.
Great patience by Grant in the post.
2 threes later, the Pack was up by 5.
Gavin Grant, the jumper for 3. Boom. And the Wolfpack up 5.
Atzor with it at the point.
Zone Virginia for the first time.
High post to Costner. Left side to Neiman for 3. It's good.
For Virginia, outscored by 20 points, 12 and a half nightmarish minutes, the basket had shrunk to the size of a Dixie cup. Even so, the Hoos put together a final threat with 3:17 remaining when J.R. Reynolds nailed his first and only three-pointer of the night to bring Virginia within 1. But then a senior walk-on named Brian Neiman stepped up for the Pack and took a charge, draining UVA and their faithful of their momentum. Gavin Grant widened the State advantage with a couple of hoops.
McCauley at the point. McCauley steps in against Lars. Bangs inside. Kicks in the corner. Grant, the jumper good for 3. Grant delivers a triple. 7-point game and a minute to go.
As State completed their second big upset in as many days.
And State is going to the ACC semifinals for the first time since 2005. The Pack overcomes a 14-point halftime deficit to win 79-71 here in Tampa.
And another day to wear the red coat.
You're 40 minutes. 40 minutes. All I ask you is give me your best effort for 40 minutes. As hard as you can play. When you go in a game, you play to win. When you go in a game, you're locked in. We got to own 50-50 balls. We got to be first to the floor, and we got to play to win. Everyone understand that? Let's bring it together. Let's go, baby.
It wasn't until 9:30 on Friday evening that Tampa fans got to take a look at the third-seeded team in the tournament, the Hokies of Virginia Tech.
Let's go, Hokies!
Seth Greenberg's crew had taken many by surprise during the regular season, compiling 20 wins, half of which came against fellow ACC teams. Wake, of course, was coming off their dramatic double overtime victory over Georgia Tech. A triumph that no doubt had left them both fueled and somewhat fatigued. Whether it was exhaustion or over-exhilaration, Wake started slowly against Virginia Tech. After Kyle Visser grabbed Jamie Skeen's missed shot off the glass and laid it up for the game's first basket, Wake did not score another field goal for more than 4 minutes. In the meantime, the well-rested Hokies settled into their game plan.
Rebound to the Hokies, Gordon. He quickly counterattacks the other way. Lobs on the left of Asayo. Spots up, fires, and scores. Rebound to the Hokies, Deron Washington. Again, he pushes it quickly. Ahead on the right wing to Dowdell. Down low, there's Gordon on the baseline, and he drives and lays it in. And the Hokies lead it 9-2.
Finally, L.D. Williams ended the Demon Deacon drought with a layup that brought the Deeks to within 5. Virginia Tech responded quickly, though, with a score in the paint by Marcus Sales.
He drives into the lane. Runner with the right hand, rolls around and in. The first two for the senior Sales.
Yeah, very aggressive take there.
And a three-pointer from A.D. Vasayo to put Tech up by 10.
16-6, smooth stroke for the young man from Puerto Rico, A.D. Vasayo.
Finally, the Deacons awakened.
Wake inbounds to Hale, fakes the three, gets a little closer, little 16-footer up and good. He banked it in. Harvey Hale off the window will take the two, and it's an 18-10 lead for Tech.
Smith on the wing against Nigel Munson. Goes by him to the goal for the layup. Nice job by Ishmael Smith. It's 18-12.
Visser in the paint again, rammed one down to cut the deficit to 4. Then Kevin Swinton hit from inside, and Wake was within 2.
Swinton goes to work, skipping a jump, and the shot off the glass is good for Kevin Swinton.
Once again, Virginia Tech responded.
Pull-up jumper in the air, nothing but net for A.D. coming off a nice screen. Left side, passes to Dowdell. Penetrates on Schmidt, free throw line jumper, got it.
But Visser answered right back from inside.
Visser's got 12, and the Hokie lead is only 2, 31-29.
And Ishmael Smith hooked up from outside for 3, and for one shining moment, Wake Forest held the lead.
And the Deeks lead this thing 32-31.
The moment ended, courtesy of A.D. Vasayo.
Gordon flips it over to Vasayo, a long three, nothing but net. And Vasayo gives Tech the lead right back from the corner.
But Wake did have the final word at the half.
8 seconds, 7 seconds, Williams driving, following a little 12-footer, zip by Williams. He's got his 4th point, and it's 36-34. Here's a 70-footer by the Hokies, no good at the horn. And at halftime, Wake Forest has battled to within a couple at 36-34.
Although senior center Kyle Visser's inspired play kept the Deacons within a safe margin of Virginia Tech at the start of the second half, the fact was Wake was up against a superb defense that had the top-ranked turnover ratio in the conference and knew how to steal. Deron Washington's robbery and dunk put Tech up by 10. And the Hokie show began.
Here's a steal by Deron, breaking away, and a right-hand ram for Deron Washington. Took it away from Williams, breaks away and dunks. Hokies up 10, and Wake Forest calls time.
A show that featured the ACC's top pickpocket, Javon Gordon. And its second-best thief, Zabian Dowdell.
Smith with the dribble, tries to penetrate, stripped again by Tech. Vasayo ahead to Dowdell, and he lays it in. More of the same out of the timeout.
I've lost track of layups here.
After another Hokie steal and score stretched the lead to 17, an exhausted Wake bench knew its season was coming to an end. The Hokies, meanwhile, were on their way to victory. A win that Vasayo sealed with his 4th tray of the night.
Virginia Tech in their flawless second half, not a single turnover. They led by 2 at the break, and they win going away, Mike, 71-52. Vasallo, the offensive hero for the Hokies, but they really got it done with Big D, and I don't mean Dallas.
This victory was one for the Hokies to savor. They were celebrating their first postseason win since joining the ACC.
The work isn't done. It's great that we won a game in the ACC tournament. That was a hell of a win. Let's build on it. Let's build on it. All right? Great win. Let's bring it in.
Hey, now, it's there.
Saturday morning dawned, and the mood was tranquil in some parts of Tampa.
It's a lot of tourists around the area coming to see the town. We're hauling a lot of people these few days here. Sure, yeah.
Around the arena, things weren't exactly calm. But there was food to eat. Games to play. Players to see. And contests to talk about.
Your team did a very good job here and made a nice little run.
Yeah, I was really proud of how hard our kids played. We gave ourselves a chance to win yesterday.
And there's something about the way NC State matches up with Virginia Tech, Eric, that's a problem for the Hokies.
We're going to be right here anyway, pulling for that wolf pack.
Go State.
Go Heels.
Carolina, we're coming to get you. We lost a close one back in Boston. We're going to get you today because we still owe you one here.
The Heels, of course, had other ambitions. Roy Williams and his team knew they had the talent and the depth to triumph. But whether they had the intensity to remain focused on both ends of the court was somewhat less certain.
Another day, another opportunity, man. Why do what we do, man? Be together from the jump. And let's get this done. These ain't our life, but they yours, so let's get it on. Heels on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The Heels had eked out a 5-point win over BC in the team's only meeting of the year. But their leading scorer in that game, Tyler Hansbrough, was playing hurt and behind plastic. The rest of the team would have to step up. Could they? Yes, it seemed they could.
Brandon Wright against Oates, jump shot, baseline, good. Now Lawson will go left side in the corner to Terry. Terry driving, lost the ball, but Wright scoops it up and scores.
During the first 8 minutes of the game, 5 different Tar Heels scored.
Frazier on the left side to Green, will shoot a pass to Hansbrough. Hansbrough holds it high, gives it to Green, down inside, layup good.
They bring it back out for Green, right corner Frazier for 3, count it. Bobby Frazier gives Carolina a 15-5 lead, and the Eagles in some danger here.
BC, by comparison, struggled offensively against the swarming Heels.
Marshall drives left to the lane, finds Oates left corner for the 3. No. Jump feed right sideline. Marshall looks to drive the ball, and we get a charging foul on Sean Marshall.
That was a good call.
In fact, until Jared Dudley scored inside at the 10:56 mark, the only Eagle to land a field goal was Sean Marshall. Boston's leading scorer from Friday's game, Tyrese Rice, had a great deal of trouble finding his rhythm, and even more problems finding the hoop.
17-5 Carolina. Eagles in danger of getting run out of the gym.
Need a bucket desperately.
Dudley as well had a poor shooting half.
Oates stops, looks, bounce feed Dudley to the goal, puts it up and misses the lay-in. The rebound grabbed by Hansbrough.
But Carolina had no such trouble. The Heels continued to connect at will throughout the half.
3-on-2 break. Away to Brandon Wright, up off the glass. He scores with the left hand. Here's the pass to Terry coming down the right side. Terry with the outside shot, good. Terry with the rebound. Here comes Terry front court off to Lawson. Lawson with a pull-up shot, good. Carolina, good 27-11.
The UNC effort was so dominant that by the time Tyrese Rice connected for his first score from the field, there were only 34 seconds left in the half. Rice's 3 was only the 7th field goal of the first 20 minutes for Boston College, which left the court on the short end of a 38-23 score. In college basketball, where scoring runs and hot three-point shooting are expected at any minute, 15 points is not an insurmountable lead. In the chronicles of the ACC tournament, including this one, teams have come back from big deficits on many occasions. On Friday night, NC State had trailed Virginia by 14 at the half and came back to win by 8. And Boston College had fallen behind Miami by 14 in the second half and had survived to claim victory. Al Skinner's team had a simple two-part agenda for this contest. The Eagles had to hit their shots, and they had to keep Carolina from hitting theirs. Things didn't exactly start out the way Skinner wanted it to.
Outlet for Lawson, bullet feed down court, Brandon Wright all alone, easy dunk for Brandon Wright. Too easy for North Carolina. He has 12 points to lead all scorers.
Here's Wright. Here comes the Terry. The lob inside to Hansbrough. Caught the ball, put it up, rolled it over the front of the rim.
Very little the Boston College defenders could do when he caught that ball.
Off now for Ellington. Gets free drives, lays it up. No, the follow is slammed home easily by Brandon Wright. Too easy for North Carolina.
In fact, the score was going in the opposite direction of what BC had in mind.
Their biggest lead now 20. Had a 15-point halftime lead, stretched it out to 20 here before the first media timeout. Not what BC wanted.
But there were a couple of promising signs. For one thing, Jared Dudley started making some shots.
Jared Dudley pulls BC within 48-30.
And Carolina started committing some turnovers.
Here's Tyler Hansbrough on the right side and lost the ball to Jared Dudley. Out to Marshall, over to Rice, back to Marshall, and he scores on the layup, and it's 50-36.
Sean Marshall, the lone Eagle to score consistently, hit a three, and the Carolina lead was down to single digits. But good teams know when they have to step on the gas.
Tar Heel fans are getting a little antsy to Lawson. Here's Terry from deep in the corner for three. That's big. Oates looking for some help. Got it to Oates. Oates in the lane. Ball knocked away. Ginyard up with it. He'll get it ahead to Wright. This will be fun. Whoa!
Way up in the air. That's the kind of thing you got to do to stop it. You got to get easy baskets.
The Eagles were running out of clock, and they knew it. But even if BC had all the time in the world, they didn't stand a chance against the speed, the passion, and yes, the intensity of North Carolina, which was heading to the ACC finals and feeling intense about it. Of course, Carolina had another game to go. The Heels' opponent for that championship game, that was about to be determined. Virginia Tech had looked fine, fast, and just about flawless in their victory over Wake Forest on Friday night. They were also playing on relatively fresh legs compared to those of the NC State Wolfpack, which had pegged two tough triumphs on consecutive nights against Duke and Virginia. Even so, NC State's number 10 seeding belied their talent. Their victories over the Devils and the Cavaliers resulted not from a host of lucky perimeter shots that sank at the right time, but from a team of players who knew how to pass, how to control the tempo, and how to score on all parts of the floor. In addition, the Pack had logged 2 regular season victories over the Hokies.
It is our time, because you're 40 minutes away. 40 minutes from playing on Sunday. You've got to put your arms around this thing. You guys have busted your ass. Take advantage of it. Play hard for 40 minutes. Trust each other for 40 minutes. Defend for 40 minutes. Give your body up for 40 minutes. Give your ego up for 40 minutes. Do what each of you do well to make us good. Let's get to Sunday, because it's our time.
From the start of the game, both programs showcased their strengths. Courtney Fells opened the scoring with a steal and inside shot for NC State. Tech's Jamon Gordon responded with a jumper to tie. And Gordon's steal, which resulted in an A.D. Vasayo jump shot, handed the Hokies the lead.
Dowdell into the lane, whips it right side to Vasayo. One dribble up for a jump shot, good for two from the right baseline for A.D. Vasayo.
Brandon Coster, so strong inside all tournament long, got into paint for another two. Once again, the Hokies answered, this time with a Vasayo layup.
And he lays it in. Tech retakes the lead, 6-5.
Gavin Grant followed with yet another inside bucket.
Bounce pass down low to Grant, who muscles it up and good over Vasayo.
Yeah, I like that matchup right there.
Then Fells and Grant drilled consecutive threes to put the Pack up by 7.
The key fires for three over Vasayo and hits.
Deron Washington's dunk stymied the state run.
Penetrates into the lane on Neiman, draws the defender, dishes to Deron Washington for the dunk.
So unselfish, Bill.
But Ingenatzer's long three ignited another one.
Coster drives to the free throw line. Underneath with a bounce pass to Fells, layup good. 50. Hansbrough up the floor from left to right, gives it to Horner. He was open, didn't pull the trigger. Now he'll drive to the basket, lays it up good. Basket counts and a blocking foul on Deron Washington.
After a Brian Neiman basket extended the state lead to 9, Nigel Munson did some damage control.
Jamon penetrates on the walk on Neiman, draws a double in the corner out to Vasayo, into the corner to Munson. Open three ball, got it. 23-15 the score.
And another Tech steal and score. This one by A.D. Vasayo knocked another two off the Pack lead. Shek Giacchidi did his part too, nailing a jumper to bring Tech within 4. But Gavin Grant worked his way inside for the score and the foul.
Great explosion to the basket there by Gavin Grant, but that's his game.
And when Dennis Horner hit from beyond the arc, State was up by 10.
What a pick-me-up half for Dennis Horner. Man, he has been big for NC State.
The half wasn't over yet. Virginia Tech had just over a minute to play. And in 60 seconds, the Hokies can giveth, and they can taketh away.
Here's Atzor to the high post of McCauley. His pass down low for Grant, picked off by Dowdell. Dowdell, an all ACC defensive team selection, drives down the floor to the line, down the lane, a scoop to the hoop, got it. Dowdell with 4. 1 second left. There's the horn. That's the hand.
The Virginia Tech hocus pocus continued in the second half. A.D. Vasayo's tray brought them within 2. And moments later, Lewis Witcher laid it in, and the game was tied for about 30 seconds.
The freshman from Rocky Mount evens it up, 35-35.
There's a dump down pass to McCauley, right of the lane, against Collins, outside to Neiman. Jump shot in the air for 3. Bullseye, Brian Neiman. Loose ball inside. They still scrum for it. It's headed for the baseline. Diving is Neiman. Saves it inbounds to Grant. Grant down the floor. Going to the hole. Scoop to the hoop. Got it.
How about Brian Neiman coming up with that loose ball, hitting the deck.
Down by 5, Virginia Tech once again played catch-up. Gordon's steal and stuff cut the deficit to 3.
Deflected and stolen by Deron down the floor to Gordon, breaking away, and a dunk for Gordon. It's 46-43.
Dowdell hit a jumper, and the Hokies were within 1.
Jens Koster goes by, and the pull-up jumper is good. It's a one-point game, 46-45. Zabian Dowdell within 1.
Courtney Fells got 2 back for the Pack. Vasayo connected long distance, knotting the score at 48 with just over 7 minutes to go. NC State had played 2 2/3 games in less than 48 hours. They had proved their talent, their drive, and their passion. Now it was time to show their character. After Ben McCauley made both foul shots to put the Pack up by 2, Courtney Fells' jumper doubled the lead. Moments later, McCauley hit again. Pack by 6.
Backs in against Collins. He turns left-hand jump hook, good by Ben McCauley.
Then Fells found the hole from downtown, and State was up 9 with 93 ticks left.
14 for Fells at 61-52. What a big shot with 1:24 to go.
Tech would not go quiet into that good night. When Lewis Witcher's dunk made it a 3-point game with 46 seconds to go, Tech began to foul. The Pack players went to the stripe and nailed the shots. The end of the game was a Wolfpack Mardi Gras, a celebration for a group of young players that came to Tampa and performed like men. Would it be another 83? Perhaps. They'd have to take all the marbles to make it happen.
One more game! One more! Let's go! One more, baby! One more!
Sunday, the final day of a great tournament in a great city.
It's a beautiful venue, beautiful day, and we're just looking for a big game out of D. Horn and a Wolfpack. This is Horner right here. Go Pack.
Go Heels! Beat State! We're number 1.
I told her if NC State wins, we're going to have our first child, and we're going to name it Sydney.
From the days of Everett Case and Frank McGuire, the two teams have shared an area, hundreds of memorable games, and dozens of titles. Of the 53 ACC tournaments played thus far, almost half had been captured by either the Pack or the Heels. And yet these teams had met in the tournament final only 5 times prior to today's matchup. Carolina held the overall advantage, having taken the crown in 68, 97, and behind the MVP performance of a freshman named Phil Ford in 1975. State's 2 ACC tournament final victories over the Heels came in 1959 and in 1987 under Jim Valvano's leadership. Today, his protege and former player, Sidney Lowe, would stand on the sidelines and guide his team against their arch rival with a simple incentive on the line. If they win, they go to the NCAA tournament. If they lose, they don't. Roy Williams' Heels were not playing a do-or-die game today, though a victory would assure a top seed in the national tournament. More on the line for Carolina was the need to reclaim a tournament they once owned. Winners of 15 tournaments, the Tar Heels had seen their dominance of this event disappear over the last decade, when their nemesis Duke won 7 of 8 ACC crowns to give them a total of 16, snatching bragging rights from Carolina. In addition, though some Carolina players as well as their coach had won a national title, none of them had ever been in an ACC final, not to mention the winner's circle. So anyone who believed that this final game did not matter to the top-seeded Tar Heels was sorely mistaken. It mattered immensely.
Opening tip controlled by Carolina.
Tyler Hansbrough delivered the first bucket for the Tar Heels.
Slow to Hansbrough, left block, turns, fires, and hits. Over McCauley. Real tough shot.
Courtney Fells found the hole long distance for State's first 3 points. Carolina's star freshman Brandon Wright got above the rim. But the Pack answered with a couple more threes. Another one from Fells.
Lawson will drive him and now gives a pass to Coster. Coster left corner against Wright. He'll raise for 3 and shoots and hits. The threes are falling for State early.
Costner's early hot hand continued. His score in the paint gave the Pack an 11-10 advantage at the 14-29 mark. And after a Ty Lawson layup, Costner struck again from behind the perimeter. Minutes later, he laid it in and drew a foul. And the Pack was up by 6 with just under 13 minutes left in the first half. State was playing a solid game on both ends of the floor.
McCauley drives around Hansbrough to the hole, layup good.
Decisive move as he caught it from the high post.
But college basketball is a game of tempo control. NC State knew from the start that it couldn't win without it. Unfortunately for State, Carolina was controlling the tempo. The game was moving fast, too fast for the Wolfpack. powerful transition team. Carolina pulled off 2 steals in fast breaks to take the lead.
He just extended himself, Eric, when he was in the air to tie the score at 21. Intercepted by Ellington. They're trying to catch him. Ellington on the drive, the layup, and Carolina leads 23-21.
When State could slow down the play, it allowed their big scorers like Costner and Ingenatzer time and latitude to find the basket.
Sends a pass to Atzer. Long 3 from the top by Atzer. Good! We got our 9th lead change as State regains the lead, 28-27. This is a tremendous basketball game.
Ben McCauley's follow-up of a blocked Costner shot put the Pack up by 3. But Wayne Ellington quickly tied it up. And once again, the Tar Heels were in transition.
4:30 left to play first half. Score tied. Lawson splits the double team, gives it to Wright, running down the lane for his 12th point of the half.
Wes Miller's consecutive trays drove Carolina's half-ending surge.
Miller for another 3 out of the left corner.
Oh, fling him up there, Wes. Let it go.
Brandon Wright added an artistic cut and score inside, and the Tar Heels were in command, up 8 at the break. Sidney Lowe's Pack team returned to the floor for the last 20 minutes of this magical tournament. These Warriors had played 145 minutes of ball in less than 72 hours and had 20 more to go. But in that time, they would have to make up an 8-point deficit on tired legs against the Carolina team with energy on the floor and depth on the bench. The Heels, in the meantime, strive to continue their dominance of tempo and their accurate shooting. They also aim to shut down the Wolfpack's big men, Costner, McCauley, and Grant. At the start, Carolina continued to hold the momentum, building their lead on timely Ty Lawson baskets.
Got it to Ellington, now to Lawson. Lawson goes baseline, reverse layup is good.
Oh, that was spectacular.
And they kept their hold on transition scoring, picking Brandon Costner's pocket twice for quick, fast breaks.
Ellington down the floor, to the lane to the hoop, score.
Another one of those turnovers.
Costner might have had slippery moments handling the ball, but with his team down by 16, he had an NBA moment shooting it.
Gets it away to Costner, long 3 left wing, got it. Costner with 19.
Minutes later, Dennis Horner found the bucket on a jumper to cut the Carolina lead to 10.
Bullseye for 2.
Yeah, Dennis Horner he's coming now.
Then Costner packed one in, and the lead shrank to 8.
On a breakaway, jams it.
State's run continued with a Courtney Fells dunk. And a tough 3-point play by Gavin Grant that closed the gap to 3 with 5:35 to go. The Heels weren't playing poorly, but they had lost some of their rhythm and needed to get it back fast.
Fells deep left, starts to drive. He pulls up, left wing jump shot, good by Courtney Fells.
Fortunately for UNC, Rayshon Terry found the beat.
Rayshon Terry been on the bench for a long time, and here he comes into the game like seniors are supposed to do and making a lot of big things happen.
But the Pack kept beating on the door. Ben McCauley grabbed Gavin Grant's missed foul shot and put it in the hoop to pull State within 3. Seconds later, Terry nailed a 3.
Terry knocks in a 3 from the right wing.
He has been the last 8 points for North Carolina,
which Brandon Costner immediately erased. But the Pack was running out of time. With under 3 minutes to go, State began to foul. The Heels' ice in the veins free throw shooting stretched the lead to 7. Even so, the Pack felt the door was still open a crack.
This is a down low to Costner. Left-hand dribble into the lane, hook shot up, and rolls in, and a foul.
Lawson trying to stay with him and goes down the right sideline into the corner, reverses it to Fells, inside McCauley, up for the shot, good, 84-80.
Which with 1 second left, Lawson slammed shut. The 9-point Carolina victory belied a hard-fought, well-played finale. NC State had proved a worthy opponent. Their tournament run showcased a young and talented team, sure to make more visits to the tournament finals. But this year was Carolina's. It belonged to a senior born and bred on ACC tournaments.
My dad's been taking me to the ACC tournament since, my mom tells me I was there when I was 1 year old, and she was holding me in her arms. So it means the world to me. It's something I always dreamed about as a kid, and going to these games as a kid, it's kind of one of the things that inspired me to want to work at the game and play the game.
It belonged to a freshman tournament MVP winner, the first Tar Heel Frosh to take that honor since Phil Ford.
I just feel honored, that I even got it, but I may have got it on paper, but I really just give it to everybody on the team today because so many guys did so many different things to step up for us, and it was definitely a team effort.
And to a head coach who could cut down the ACC tournament nets for the first time.
When you start thinking about the teams that have played in the past and won it, the coaches that have won it, it's very appealing to say the least. And at the end of the game, there is that exhilaration and joy that you have that one moment too.
Carolina owned the crown, but the weekend, the 11 games filled with depth, drama, and downright dandy basketball belonged to all the players, coaches, and teams, and to the thousands of fans who made the journey in 2007 to the ACC's unforgettable showdown in the Sunshine State.